Chapter 751, Intruding into the Wind Wolf Tribe's Camp. Please reading on Zenvel. Omicron the fifth-tier Wind Wolf walked into the Wind Wolf Tribe camp. The surrounding Wind Wolves looked at Yili in confusion and started whispering to each other. Who is this guy? One don't know. Why would a human come to our Wind Wolf Tribe? Could he be a friend of the leader? Yili naturally heard the Wind Wolf Tribe's conversation, but he naturally didn't want to pay attention to them. Then, the fifth-tier Wind Wolf walked out and said respectfully to Yili, "Honorable Lord, the leader invites you in." With that, the fifth-tier Wind Wolf made an inviting gesture to Yili. Yili slowly walked into the Wind Wolf Tribe camp. A majestic Wind Wolf sat on the throne with a confident smile on his face. "Human, why have you come to the territory of the Wind Wolf Tribe?" The Wind Wolf on the throne was naturally the leader of the Wind Wolf Tribe, a Tier 1 Lord-level Wind Wolf. The Wind Wolf Tribe members in the camp all looked at Yili, wanting to know how he would reply. Yili slowly said, "It's nothing special. One just want you to report to the Tyrant Whale Silver Sun Tiger race." All the Wind Wolf Tribe cultivators in the camp were shocked by Yili's words. They didn't expect Yili to say such a thing. "Human, what do you mean?" An 8th-tier master-level Wind Wolf stood up from his chair and stared at Yili. "That's right. A puny human actually dares to command our Wind Wolf Tribe. You're really courting death." Another 8th-tier master-level Wind Wolf said coldly to Yili. Yili smiled faintly. "I'll say it again. Go and report to the Tyrant Whale Silver Sun Tiger race." "Okay, I'm done." Now who agrees and who opposes? When the Wind Wolves in the camp heard this, they were all enraged to the extreme. They glared at Yili. "Human, I really don't know how many leopard guts you've eaten to be so arrogant." The 8th-tier Wind Wolf said coldly to Yili. Yili smiled. He looked at the 8th-tier master-level Wind Wolf and slowly said, "Do you want to know how many leopard guts I, Demon King Yili, have eaten?" The 8th-tier master-level Wind Wolf smiled smugly. "Exactly. Alright, since you want to know, I, Demon King Yili, will tell you." As soon as he finished speaking, Yili made his move. By the time he finished speaking, Yili had already disappeared from the spot, leaving only an afterimage. What? All of the Wind Wolves in the camp were stunned. This was because they had never seen such terrifying speed. When he appeared again, Yili was already in front of the 8th-tier master-level Wind Wolf. His hands were like iron pincers, firmly locking onto the neck of the 8th-tier master-level Wind Wolf. "Alt. Be gentle. Be gentle." The 8th-tier master-level Wind Wolf howled loudly. He felt an unprecedented pain. "What?" After the genetic warriors in the camp regained their senses, they exclaimed. "Now do you know how much guts I, Demon King Yili, have?" Yili looked at the 8th-tier master-level Wind Wolf indifferently. How could the 8th-tier master-level Wind Wolf still speak? There was only fear on his face. "Human, do you know what this place is?" The leader of the Wind Wolf Tribe stared at Yili. A faint smile appeared on Yili's handsome face. He looked at the leader of the Wind Wolf Tribe and slowly said, "Of course, but do you know who I, Demon King Yili, am?" As soon as these words were spoken, all the Wind Wolves in the camp were stunned. This was because they did not know who Yili was and had never heard of his name. Chapter 752, The Wind Wolf Tribe was terrified. Please reading on Zenvel. Omicron the leader of the Wind Wolf Tribe looked at Yili. "Human, tell me who you are." The other Wind Wolf Tribe members in the camp also looked at Yili. They all wanted to know who this extremely arrogant human was. A few seconds later, Yili slowly said word by word, "I'm someone that the Wind Wolf Tribe cannot afford to offend." Ha ha ha. As soon as Yili said this, all the Wind Wolf Tribe members in the camp burst into laughter, as if they had never heard such a funny joke. "What are you guys laughing at?" Yili looked at the Wind Wolf Tribe members playfully. "Interesting, this is really interesting. I, Lang Ba, have roamed the northern plains for so many years, but I have never seen such an interesting human. The leader of the Wind Wolf tribe looked at Yi Li indifferently. Yi Li smiled. Is it really interesting? All the wind wolves in the camp also looked at Yi Li with disdain. Human, I'm warning you. Let go of Wolf 5 or I'll teach you a lesson. An 8th tier master level wind wolf suddenly said coldly to Yi Li. The Wolf 5 that this 8th tier wind wolf was talking about was naturally the 8th tier wind wolf in Yi Li's hands. Unfortunately, what the Wind Wolf tribe did not expect was that as soon as this 8th tier master level wind wolf had finished speaking, he was sent flying and landed heavily on the ground, spitting out a large mouthful of blood. How is this possible? All of the wind wolves in the camp were dumbfounded. Human, you're very strong. The leader of the Wind Wolf tribe, Lang Ba, stared at Yi Li. Yi Li smiled again and said leisurely, not bad. I'm just an 8th tier chosen one. What? When the Wind Wolf tribe members in the camp heard Yi Li's words, they couldn't help but take a few steps back and look at Yi Li with their mouths agape. An 8th tier chosen one. That was the 8th tier lord level realm. The Wind Wolf tribe in the camp did not believe it. They could not believe that Yi Li was an 8th tier chosen one. Human, are you joking with me? Lang Ba stared at Yi Li, clang. Just as the leader of the Wind Wolf tribe, Lang Ba, finished speaking, a terrifying cold light instantly shot out from the camp. A sword was pressed against Lang Ba's neck. One more inch and Lang Ba's life would disappear from this world forever. Do you still think this is a joke? Yi Li looked at Lang Ba indifferently. At this moment, the wind wolves in the main camp had already frozen like clay sculptures. That cold light just now seemed to have caused them all to enter a cycle of reincarnation. There was a mountain of corpses and a sea of blood, and there were white bones everywhere. You. Lang Ba was also scared out of his wits. He looked at Yi Li in shock. Can you report to the Tyrant Whale Silver Sun Tiger race now? Yi Li looked at Lang Ba playfully. Sure. Lang Ba didn't dare to say no. He knew that if he did, he would definitely die. He definitely didn't doubt that Yi Li wouldn't kill him. Can I, Demon King Yi Li, visit your Wind Wolf tribe? Yi Li continued. Sure. Lang Ba was about to cry because the ancient dragon abyss sword in Yi Li's hand was too terrifying. He could no longer withstand such pressure. Go and tell the Tyrant Whale Silver Sun Tiger race that the 5 Tyrant Whale Silver Sun Tigers in the Spectre Forest were killed by Demon King Yi Li. The 13 Tyrant Whale Silver Sun Tigers that came to seek revenge were also killed by Demon King Yi Li. When the wind wolves in the camp heard this, they all sucked in a breath of cold air. Chapter 753, Mount Tyrant Whale. Please reading on Zenvel. Yi Li looked at the leader of the Wind Wolf tribe and said calmly, since you agreed, if you can't do it, you should know what the consequences will be. I know. At this moment, Lang Ba was already terrified to the extreme. How could he dare to say that he was unwilling? Then I will leave, Yi Li said slowly. After saying that, Yi Li activated swift steps and disappeared from the spot. Senior is back. Xiao Yu looked at Yi Li and her fair face was filled with joy. Yi Li looked at the expression on Xiao Ye's face and could not help but sigh. He naturally knew that Xiao Yu had already fallen for him. Senior, did you go to the Wind Wolf tribe? Xiao Yu looked at Yi Li nodded. Yes, it is. Saying so, Yi Li looked at the sun in the sky, thinking that something big would happen in the northern plains soon. The Tyrant Whale Silver Sun Tiger race's territory was called Mount Tyrant Whale. Lang Ba looked at Mount Tyrant Whale. He swallowed his saliva, and his wolf face was filled with shock. He was only a Tier 1 Lord-level Dark Race member. Facing the Tyrant Whale Silver Sun Tigers, he was nothing. However, when he thought of Yi Li, his entire body could not help but tremble. Immediately, Lang Ba gritted his teeth and walked towards Mount Tyrant Whale. Not long after, he saw 2 Tier 1 Lord-level Tyrant Whale Silver Sun Tigers. Halt! A Tier 1 Lord-level tyrant whale Silver Sun Tiger shouted coldly at Lang Ba. Lang Ba was shocked and quickly stopped in his tracks. What do you do? Don't you know that this is the territory of the tyrant whale Silver Young Tiger clan? The tyrant whale Silver Young Tiger said coldly. I know. Please go and report that the leader of the Wind Wolf tribe, Lang Ba, wants to see the king. Wind Wolf tribe. The two tyrant whale Silver Sun Tigers pondered for a few seconds before saying to Lang Ba, is it the Wind Wolf tribe north of the northern plains? Yes, my lord. Lang Ba quickly replied. The two Tier 1 Lord-level Overlord whale Silver Sun Tigers laughed coldly. A puny Wind Wolf tribe member wants to meet our king? Truly laughable to the extreme. Hurry up and scram. Lang Ba was shocked and hurriedly said, Lords, a peerless demon king appeared in the northern plains and has killed 18 members of your tyrant whale Silver Sun Tiger race. What? The two tyrant whale Silver Sun Tigers were shocked and they heard this. They looked at Lang Ba in shock. They naturally knew about the deaths of their clansmen in the north of the northern plains. Later on, they sent 13 Tier 1 Lord-level Overlord whale Silver Young Tigers to the north of the northern plains. Could they have died too? How did you know? A Tier 1 Lord-level Overlord whale Silver Young Tiger asked coldly. Sir, Demon King Yili asked me to inform you about that news. Lang Ba replied. These two Tier 1 Lord-level Overlord whale Silver Young Tigers had naturally never heard of Demon King Yili. They asked Lang Ba who is Demon King Yili. The peerless Demon King who killed 18 members of the tyrant whale Silver Sun Tiger race. When these two Tier 1 Lord-level Overlord whale Silver Sun Tigers heard this, they all gritted their teeth. Wait, I'll report this to our king. Immediately after, a Tier 1 Lord-level tyrant whale Silver Sun Tiger walked towards the tyrant whale cave. Not long after, this Tier 1 Lord-level tyrant whale Silver Sun Tiger arrived in front of Lang Ba and shouted at him. Our king wants you to go up. Lang Ba did not dare to stay any longer. He quickly followed the two tyrant whale Silver Sun Tigers towards the tyrant whale cave. Chapter 754, Deliver a Message for Me Please reading on Zenvel. Omicron, the leader of the Wind Wolf tribe, Lang Ba, followed two Tier 1 Lord-level tyrant whale Silver Sun Tigers to the tyrant whale cave. The tyrant whale cave was where the tyrant whale Silver Sun Tiger leader lived. However, they were not used to calling him leader. Instead, they called him king. After arriving at the tyrant whale cave, Lang Ba felt a strong pressure. Lang Ba looked at the tyrant whale Silver Sun Tiger in the tyrant whale cave. His heart was already in his throat because he had never felt such a terrifying pressure. He didn't even dare to breathe. You are the leader of the Wind Wolf tribe north of the northern plains. On the throne above the tyrant whale cave, there was an awe-inspiring tyrant whale Silver Sun Tiger. This tyrant whale Silver Sun Tiger was at the 8th tier lord level. The other tyrant whale Silver Young Tigers in the cave were also at the 5th tier lord level. It could be said that the Wind Wolf tribe and the tyrant whale Silver Sun Tiger tribe were worlds apart. I want you to tell me personally what you know. The leader of the tyrant whale Silver Sun Tiger race said coldly to Lang Ba. Hearing such a voice, Lang Ba felt a chill run down his spine and straight to the top of his head. Your Majesty, blah blah. Lang Ba repeated what he had said to the Tier 1 Lord-level tyrant whale Silver Young Tiger. Supreme Demon King Yili. The leader of the tyrant whale Silver Sun Tiger race smiled coldly. Then, his expression darkened. King, let us get him. A 5th tier lord-level tyrant whale Silver Sun Tiger said to the leader. Alright, we must bring back Demon King Yili's corpse. The leader of the tyrant whale Silver Sun Tiger race said coldly. With that said, the leader of the tyrant whale Silver Sun Tiger race looked at Lang Ba and said, You can leave now. Yes, Your Majesty. Lang Ba had long wanted to leave this place. When he heard the tyrant whale Silver Sun Tiger race leader's words, he hurriedly left the tyrant whale cave as if he had been pardoned. He did not understand, he really did not understand. Why did Demon King Yili do this? Did he not know that the tyrant whale Silver Sun Tiger race was a supreme existence in the northern plains? Even if, Lang Ba pondered. He thought that even if Demon King Yili was an 8th-tier chosen one, he was still too weak to resist the entire tyrant whale Silver Sun Tiger race. In his opinion, there was only one outcome waiting for Yili, and that was to be crushed into pieces. A few days later, Lang Ba returned to the northern plains from the tyrant whale Silver Sun Tiger race's territory. When Yili left, Yili asked him to look for him in the protection city. So Lang Ba didn't return to the territory of the Wind Wolf tribe at all and went to the protection city first. When they arrived outside the protective city, the genetic warriors peed their pants in fear as they looked at Lang Ba in horror. The leader of the Wind Wolf tribe? These genetic warriors were only Tier 4 evolved beings. To them, Lang Ba was an insurmountable existence. Not only were they afraid, but they were also the most afraid since they were born. Please deliver a message for me. Go and report to Demon King Yili that I, Lang Ba, am back. The genetic warriors were shocked when they heard that. They thought that Lang Ba was here to attack the protection city, but they didn't expect him to be here to look for Senior. Alright, well, report it immediately. With that said, a few genetic warriors quickly ran into the protection city. They were so fast that they wished they could grow a few more legs. Senior. Senior. These genetic warriors were all descendants of the Shao family. After arriving at the Shao family, they rushed towards the hall. Chapter 755, Lang Ba broke through to Tier 2 Lord level. Please reading on Zenvel. M Shao family, main hall. At this moment, Yi Li and the Shao family's head and the elders were sitting in the hall. Senior. Senior. Suddenly, a few panicked voices entered their ears. Then, 3 Shao family disciples ran into the hall. What's going on? Why are you so flustered? The Shao family's head shouted angrily. Family head, the leader of the Wind Wolf tribe, Lang Ba, has arrived outside the protection city. A Shao family disciple hurriedly replied. What? Everyone in the Shao family's hall suddenly stood up from their chairs, their eyes wide open. Lang Ba had arrived outside the protection city. The Shao family's family head, Shao Kuang, also didn't expect this. His face sank as he asked the Shao family disciple who spoke, how many members of the Wind Wolf tribe are here? Everyone in the Shao family's main hall believed that the Wind Wolf tribe was here to attack the protection city. Furthermore, even Lang Ba had been mobilized. It was obvious how determined they were. Only the leader of the Wind Wolf tribe, Lang Ba. There are no other Wind Wolf tribe members. Everyone in the Shao family's hall could not help but be stunned when they heard this. They did not understand what this meant. Suddenly, they all looked at Yi Li and realized that Yi Li was nowhere to be seen in the hall. Senior must have gone outside the protection city. Let's go too. Shao Kuang was the first to come back to his senses and said to everyone in the hall. Outside the protection city. The leader of the Wind Wolf tribe, Lang Ba, was pacing back and forth when a lazy voice suddenly entered his ears. There you are. Lang Ba's entire body trembled. He was too familiar with this voice. Lord Demon King Yi Li, you're here. Yi Li nodded and said slowly, how is it? Immediately, Lang Ba told Yi Li everything that happened. Thank you for your hard work. Yi Li looked at Lang Ba. It's my honor to work for Lord Demon King. I actually enjoy it. Lang Ba hurriedly said to Yi Li. Yi Li smiled. How could he not know that although Lang Ba was respectful to him on the surface, he did not think so in his heart. However, he did not care. He opened the Point Mall and bought a Lord-level potion. This is my reward for you. Yi Li answered Lang Ba. Lang Ba was stunned. He looked at the medicine in Yi Li's hand in a daze. May I ask, Demon King, what is this? He had to be vigilant. He even felt that this was a deadly poison. Yili wanted to silence him. "Drink it and you'll see." Lang Ba was shocked. If it was possible, he would not drink it, but could he really refuse? After pondering for a few seconds, Lang Ba gritted his teeth, took the Lord-level potion from Yili's hand, and drank it in one gulp. How is this possible? The moment he drank the Lord-level potion, Lang Ba's eyes couldn't help but widen because he felt that he was about to break through. He hurriedly sat on the ground and refined the amount of medicine in his body. A moment later, he broke through from the Tier 1 Lord level to the Tier 2 Lord level. "I've reached the Tier 2 Lord level." Lang Ba looked at his hands in disbelief. "Thank you, Lord Demon King." Lang Ba naturally knew that it was the potion that Yili had given him. Otherwise, it would have been impossible for him to break through to the Tier 2 Lord level. If Lang Ba hated Yili just now, then he was grateful to Yili now. It was too difficult to break through to the Lord level. At this time, Xiao Kuang had also led everyone over. When they saw the scene in front of them, they were all stunned. Chapter 756, The Tyrant Whale Silver Sun Tigers Came Again. Please reading on Zenvel. Everyone from the Xiao family looked at the scene in front of them in shock. The leader of the Wind Wolf tribe, Lang Ba, is actually thanking Senior. And from the looks of it, he's extremely grateful. For a moment, everyone in the Xiao family was confused. Senior Demon King, the Tyrant Whale Silver Sun Tiger race should arrive soon. When they arrive, I will inform you immediately, Lang Ba said to Yili N. Yili nodded. Immediately, Lang Ba left the protection city. Everyone from the Xiao family looked at Yili in shock. They were really too curious, but they didn't dare to ask. It was the same for Xiao Kuang. It was all thanks to Xiao Yu. Otherwise, everyone in the Xiao family might have been thinking about this for the entire day. Senior, what exactly is going on? Xiao Yu looked at Yili in confusion. Blah blah, Yili slowly said to the Xiao family. As soon as these words were spoken, everyone from the Xiao family was shocked. Senior, you want to attack the Tyrant Whale Silver Sun Tiger race? Xiao Yu looked at Yili in shock. Any faction in the Northern Plains knew that the Tyrant Whale Silver Sun Tiger race was the heaven of the Northern Plains. No faction would dare to provoke them. It seems like you guys are very afraid of the Tyrant Whale Silver Sun Tiger race, Yili said frankly. When the Xiao family heard this, they could not help but recall the day outside the protection city where Yili held the ancient dragon abyss sword and killed 13 Tyrant Whale Silver Young Tigers with one strike. A few days later, Master Demon King Lang Ba arrived at the Xiao family. If it was in the past, Lang Ba would never have come to the Xiao family. However, it was different now. They were on the same side. Demon King, the Tyrant Whale Silver Sun Tiger race is here. Lang Ba looked at Yili in surprise. How many? Yili's handsome face was as calm as water. 1. Lang Ba answered truthfully. When Yili heard this, he looked bored. What does this Tyrant Whale Silver Sun Tiger think I, Demon King Yili, am? Yili smiled coldly. Lang Ba suddenly thought of something. He hurriedly said to Yili, Demon King, that Tyrant Whale Silver Young Tiger is rushing towards the protection city. It won't be long before it reaches the protection city. Humph. Then let's wait for him. The head of the Xiao family, Xiao Kuang, snorted coldly. He was originally very afraid, but after hearing that only one from the Tyrant Whale Silver Sun Tiger race had come, he was not so afraid anymore. He thought that it was time to show his real strength in front of Senior. Immediately after, Xiao Kuang brought everyone from the Xiao family outside the protection city. Lang Ba also followed him outside the protection city. A moment later, a majestic Tyrant Whale Silver Sun Tiger appeared in everyone's vision. The Tyrant Whale Silver Sun Tiger was holding a huge stick in his hand. It looked hair-raising. More than 10 meters away from everyone, the Tyrant Whale Silver Sun Tiger stopped in its tracks. Who is Demon King Yili? The tyrant whale Silver Sun Tiger slowly asked. The head of the Shao family, Shao Kuang, laughed. Do you think you're worthy of knowing who the Demon King is? Shao Kuang thought that if it wasn't for Yili, their Shao family would have been destroyed long ago. Now, there was only one tyrant whale Silver Sun Tiger. If they didn't impress Senior now, when would they? The tyrant whale Silver Sun Tiger was stunned. It was obvious that it did not expect anyone to dare to speak to it like this. Humans, are you courting death? Everyone from the Shao family laughed. They thought, you're just a tyrant whale Silver Sun Tiger. There are so many of us. Why should we be afraid of you? Chapter 757, The 5th Tier Lord Level Tyrant Whale Silver Sun Tiger. Please reading on Zenvel. Omicron M. The Shao family's family head, Shao Kuang, looked at the tyrant whale Silver Sun Tiger in front of him. Even though your tyrant whale Silver Sun Tiger race is very strong in the northern plains, compared to Senior Demon King Yili, you are nothing. Shao Kuang said coldly. The tyrant whale Silver Sun Tiger was so angry that its teeth itched. When had the dignified tyrant whale Silver Sun Tiger race ever suffered such humiliation? Humans, since you don't want to live, don't blame me. As soon as he finished speaking, the tyrant whale Silver Sun Tiger roared and raised his huge club. Terrifying power gathered on the huge club, and it looked like it had reached the limit of strength. Well, everyone from the Shao family outside the protection city was stunned because this scene was too terrifying. How could they have expected this tyrant whale Silver Sun Tiger to be so terrifying? This tyrant whale Silver Young Tiger was called Ba Lei. It was one of the tyrant whale Silver Young Tiger's generals, a 5th tier lord level tiger. By the time everyone from the Shao family came back to their senses, Ba Lei had already slammed the huge stick down heavily. Boom! An invisible and terrifying force suddenly attacked the Shao family. At this moment, everyone from the Shao family was extremely regretful. If they could do it again, they naturally would not choose to offend this tyrant whale Silver Sun Tiger. I'm done. The Shao family's family head Shao Kuang couldn't help but cry out when he saw such an attack. The genetic warriors of the Shao family thought the same. Just as they thought that they were about to die, a person suddenly appeared in front of them. This person looked at his palm and immediately struck the invisible and terrifying power. The invisible and terrifying power was instantly dispersed. What? Ba Lei was stunned. He would never have thought that there was such an existence in the northern plains. It's Senior. Everyone from the Shao family was overjoyed to the extreme. Who wouldn't be happy after surviving a calamity? If it wasn't for Yili, they would have already gone to the gates of hell. Human, you're very strong. Ba Lei stared at Yili. He carried the huge stick on his shoulder. Yili looked at Ba Lei and said slowly, Why is there only you? Ba Lei was stunned and looked at Yili coldly. Human, what do you mean? Yili smiled calmly. He nodded slightly and looked at the sun in the sky. Am I not clear enough? A tyrant whale Silver Sun Tiger is not enough for me to kill. As soon as these words were spoken, 1,000 feet of anger rushed out of the 5th tier lord level tyrant whale Silver Sun Tiger Ba Lei. Human, I really want to know your name. I, Ba Lei, want to see who can say such arrogant words. Ba Lei stared at Yili. Yili smiled faintly. His handsome face was very calm as he slowly said, My name is Yili. Yili. Ba Lei thought about the name Yili. Then, he seemed to have thought of something and looked up at Yili with his eyes wide open. You are the Demon King Yili who killed 18 members of our tyrant whale Silver Sun Tiger race? Ba Lei stared at Yili. Yili nodded. That's right. Everyone from the Shao family looked at the scene in front of them in shock. Although they knew how terrifying Yili was, they also knew that the tyrant whale Silver Sun Tiger in front of them was definitely not easy to be trifled with. Since you are Demon King Yili, you deserve to die. Ba Lei shouted coldly. As soon as he finished speaking, Ba Lei raised his huge stick and attacked Yili. his speed shocking. Chapter 758, Killing the 5th Tier Lord Level Tyrant Whale Silver Young Tiger with a Single Strike. Please reading on Zenvel. Omicron M. Everyone from the Shao family stared at the scene in front of them. Ba Lei was about to reach Yi Li, but Yi Li had no intention of blocking him. Senior, this is... Xiao Kuang looked at Yi Li in a daze. He really didn't understand why Yi Li didn't dodge. Without a doubt, the huge stick of Ba Lei would smash heavily on Yi Li's head soon. Clang! Ba Lei's stick had indeed smashed onto the top of Yi Li's head. However, no matter how hard the Shao family tried, they did not expect that Yi Li's head did not bleed. Instead, there was a sound of steel colliding with the huge stick. What? Ba Lei was stunned. He widened his eyes and looked at Yi Li. How is this possible? In Ba Lei's opinion, this was really too unbelievable. He was at the 5th tier lord level, and the power of the tyrant whale Silver Sun Tiger was shockingly great. This strike actually caused no injury to him. He rubbed his eyes again, only because he knew he must have been mistaken. However, he was not mistaken. Demon King Yi Li, how can you be alright? Ba Lei looked at Yi Li in shock. Yi Li smiled faintly. Don't you understand? It's because you're weak. Ba Lei heard this and stared at Yi Li. As a noble member of the tyrant whale Silver Sun Tiger race, no one in the northern plains dared to say that they were weak. I understand. You should be a body refiner. Ba Lei had roamed the northern plains for many years. He had seen body refiners before. Body refiners could turn their entire bodies into weapons that would become incomparably hard. Do you have any last words? Yi Li looked at Ba Lei. Ba Lei was shocked. He really didn't know what Yi Li meant. Human, do you mean that I'm going to die soon? Ba Lei stared at Yi Li. Looks like you still have some self-awareness, Yi Li said lightly. Ha ha ha. Suddenly, Ba Lei laughed loudly. Demon King Yi Li, don't think that you can do anything just because you're a body refiner. Do you really know how powerful our tyrant whale Silver Sun Tigers are? Yi Li looked at the confident Ba Lei. He didn't want to waste his breath on Ba Lei. Swish! The ancient dragon abyss sword had appeared in Yi Li's hand at some point in time. As he slashed out, the world changed color and a supreme sword beam shot towards Ba Lei. Seeing such an attack, the pupils of Ba Lei constricted rapidly because he realized that he could not dodge such an attack. Aur! Ba Lei shouted. When the supreme sword light struck Ba Lei's body, Ba Lei's life disappeared from this world forever. The 5th tier lord level tyrant whale Silver Sun Tiger only took one strike. Senior is too strong. Xiao Kuang couldn't help but shake his head. Only then did the Shao family realize that they had no idea what Yi Li's peak was. Perhaps, he was already invincible. As for the leader of the Wind Wolf tribe, Lang Ba felt a lingering fear in his heart. He was glad that he did not offend Yi Li too much when he was in the Wind Wolf tribe's main camp. Otherwise, his Wind Wolf tribe would have already disappeared from the northern plains. Senior, these are the generals of the tyrant whale Silver Sun Tiger race. They all have life cards. I believe the tyrant whale Silver Sun Tiger race already knows about his death, Lang Ba hurriedly said to Yi Li. I want them to know, Yi Li said slowly. Chapter 759, Kunlun Mirror Trial. Please reading on Zenvel. Omicron M. Lang Ba and the Shao family looked at Yi Li. He was too domineering, really too domineering. They had never seen such a domineering person since they were born. The most terrifying thing was that they realized that after Yi Li killed the 5th tier lord level tyrant whale Silver Sun Tiger with one strike, there was no change in his expression at all. It was as if nothing had happened at all. In the tyrant whale cave. I'm so angry. The leader of the tyrant whale Silver Sun Tiger race roared. How strong is this demon King Yi Li? Ba Lei is dead. What? The tyrant whale Silver Sun Tigers in the cave were all shocked. They looked at the king in shock. King, Ba Lei is dead. The leader of the tyrant whale Silver Sun Tiger race had a terrifyingly dark expression. Pass down my orders, all tyrant whale Silver Sun Tigers, march and flatten the northern plains. Yes, your majesty. On this day, the clouds did not move, nor did the wind blow. The entire tyrant whale Silver Sun Tiger race was mobilized. Lord Demon King. Lord Demon King. Outside the Shao family, an extremely terrified voice entered everyone's ears. Lang Ba rushed into the Shao family in extreme fear. Everyone from the Shao family was stunned. They naturally did not understand why the leader of the Wind Wolf tribe was so afraid. What's wrong? Yi Li looked at Lang Ba and asked calmly. Everyone from the Shao family also looked at Lang Ba, wanting to know how he would answer. Demon King, all the tyrant whale Silver Sun Tigers have been mobilized. What? Everyone from the Shao family sucked in a breath of cold air. The tyrant whale Silver Sun Tiger had mobilized its entire army? This, everyone from the Shao family hurriedly looked at Yi Li, but they realized that there was still no change in Yi Li's expression. It was as if he did not hear anything. Got it, Yi Li said slowly. Lang Ba and the Shao family were all shocked. Got it? What does that mean? They don't understand. They really don't. Yi Li smiled. He looked at Lang Ba and the Shao family and continued, I think you all know what it means to deal with whatever comes your way. Lang Ba and the Shao family looked at each other when they heard this. They all looked at each other. Of course, they knew what this meant, but they knew that compared to the tyrant whale Silver Sun Tiger race, the difference was like heaven and earth. Yi Li did not continue speaking, he used his telepathy to inform the Apocalypse Legion to come to the north of the northern plains. Demon King, the tyrant whale Silver Sun Tiger race will arrive in a few days. We have to be prepared. To tell you the truth, I have already notified the large factions in the northern plains, but they are not willing to cooperate with us. The leader of the Wind Wolf tribe, Lang Ba, said. Just as Yi Li was about to speak, the system's voice appeared in his mind. Ding! The Kunlun mirror trial begins. A coordinate appeared in Yi Li's mind. While Lang Ba and the Shao family were frowning, Yi Li had already disappeared from the Shao family's main hall. Yi Li arrived at the coordinates in his mind. It was a desolate mountain. He thought that he would still be struck by lightning this time, but he did not expect to enter an unfamiliar world as soon as he arrived at the desolate mountain. Everyone he knew had appeared in this unfamiliar world. Brother, why did you kill me? Xiao Hu's voice sounded in Yi Li's ears. Yi Li was shocked. He realized that his ancient dragon abyss sword had pierced into Xiao Hu's body. Then he killed everyone he knew. Why kill me? Why kill me? Everyone that Yi Li knew turned into souls and questioned him. Their voices echoed in the space. Chapter 760, Annihilate the Inner Demon. Please reading on Zenvel. Omicron. What happened? Yi Li looked at the bloodstains on his hands and his entire body started to tremble. I killed them. Yi Li looked at the souls in front of him. These were all people he knew when he transmigrated to this world. Host, don't kill me. At this moment, a little girl appeared in front of Yi Li. This little girl was cute, extremely cute. Swish. Yi Li slashed with his sword. Ding. Host, aren't you too conceited? The system's voice suddenly appeared in Yi Li's mind. System, are you killed by me? Yi Li really didn't understand what was going on because everything was too real. Host, what are you talking about? This is the inner demon of the Kunlun mirror trial. You're so stupid. The system's words really woke Yi Li up. Only then did Yi Li remember that he was in the trial of the Kunlun mirror. Hearing this, the corners of Yi Li's lips curled up slightly, and a playful expression appeared on his handsome face. Come out, Yi Li said slowly. Hee, I didn't expect you to not collapse. Suddenly, a voice entered Yi Li's ears. As soon as he finished speaking, an extremely ugly monster appeared in front of Yili. "You're the inner demon?" Yili looked at the ugly monster in front of him indifferently. The inner demon chuckled again. "That's right. I'm the inner demon. Since you're the inner demon, you deserve to die." As soon as he finished speaking, Yili held the ancient dragon abyss sword and slashed out fiercely. A supreme sword light instantly flew towards the inner demon. Swish! The inner demon smiled coldly and disappeared. Yili did not expect this inner demon to have some ability to dodge his sword. "Give up, human. You're not my match." When the inner demon appeared again, it was already behind Yili. Before he could finish his sentence, the inner demon had already attacked. He raised his palm and slapped Yili's back. Naturally, Yili had already sensed it. He activated swift steps and leaped, dodging the inner demon's palm. Heaven Sword Technique. Yili widened the distance between him and the inner demon. He raised the ancient dragon abyss sword high and released the divine level skill, Heaven Sword Technique. Countless terrifying sword rays shot towards the inner demon. The sword rays seemed to have filled the space. The inner demon had no way out. "Alf!" The inner demon screamed and turned into a pool of dirty water. Ding! The Kunlun Mirror trial has been completed. Congratulations to the host for obtaining a super treasure chest. Host, do you want to sign a bloodline contract with the Kunlun Mirror? Without thinking too much, Yili chose to sign the contract. A few seconds later, the Kunlun Realm bloodline contract was signed. Without thinking, Yili integrated the Kunlun Mirror into the ancient dragon abyss sword and checked its function. What he did not expect was that the Kunlun Mirror could actually cause people to have inner demons. Yili's handsome face was very playful. He thought that this was really interesting. In the future, his ancient dragon abyss sword would be of any use. Next, it was time to open the treasure chest. Yili opened the super treasure chest. Congratulations to the host for obtaining the heaven-defying level skill, Heavenly Demon Finger. Congratulations to the host for obtaining Lord level zombie upgrade potion X15. After the system finished speaking, Yili came out of this strange space. Yili was about to start a war with the tyrant whale Silver Sun Tiger race, and then he got what he needed. This was the so-called luck. Chapter 761, The Apocalypse Legion had arrived. Please reading on Zenvel. Omicron M. Shao family. I don't know where Lord Demon King went. This is a critical moment. The leader of the Wind Wolf tribe, Lang Ba, paced back and forth in the Shao family's main hall. Everyone from the Shao family was also frowning. Do you think Senior might have escaped? An elder of the Shao family asked. As soon as these words were spoken, everyone in the Shao family's hall was stunned. It was not that they had never thought of this, but they did not dare to say it out loud. Everyone from the Shao family and Lang Ba were a little shocked. They thought that if Yili ran away, they would be finished. When facing the tyrant whale Silver Sun Tiger race, they would have no chance of survival. Family head, bad news. Bad news, family head. Suddenly, a panicked voice entered everyone's ears. A Shao family disciple ran into the hall and looked at family head Shao Kuang in shock. Master, there are 9 zombies outside the protection city. What? Everyone in the Shao family's hall was shocked. They looked at the messenger disciple in a daze. Clap. Suddenly, a Shao family elder slapped the face of the Shao family disciple who reported the news heavily, causing this Shao family disciple to spin a few times on the spot. Just 9 zombies here. What's there to report? The elder of the Shao family shouted angrily. At this moment, they were all tense. They thought that the tyrant whale Silver Sun Tiger race had arrived, but they didn't expect there to be only 9 zombies. Zombies? They had been in the northern plains for many years and had seen countless zombies. The Shao family disciple who came to report was stunned. After a long time, he came back to his senses and said with a long face, "Those 9 zombies are not ordinary zombies." Hearing that, the people in the Shao family hall were stunned again. Not an ordinary zombie. What did that mean? What do you mean? Speak clearly. Shao Kuang looked at the messenger Shao family disciple and said, "They all look the same as humans, and their eyes are normal." What? Everyone in the Shao family's hall was stunned. Zombies looked exactly like humans. There was no special color in their eyes. There was only one possibility, and that was that the lowest level of these zombies was a master-level zombie. How did you know that they were zombies? Shao Kuang asked. They said it themselves, the disciple of the Shao family who reported the news replied in shock. After pondering for a few seconds, Shao Kuang said in a deep voice, "Everyone, let's go take a look." Outside the protection city. "Brother Ada, why don't we just barge in?" Yutong looked at Ada in confusion. "It's better not to mess around," Ada said. At this moment, the 9th zombies of the Apocalypse Legion were all outside the protection city. Not long after, the members of the Shao family and the leader of the Wind Wolf tribe, Lang Ba, arrived outside the protection city. They focused their eyes and looked at the Apocalypse Legion in shock. "May I ask who you are?" Shao Kuang found some clues. He found that the 9 people in front of him didn't have the aura of humans, so they could only be zombies. He guessed that these 9 zombies were all master-level zombies. Although his protection city wasn't afraid of the 9 master-level zombies, he still wanted to know their purpose. "We're the Apocalypse Legion. Our master asked us to come here," Ada said to Shao Kuang. The Apocalypse Legion was naturally an extremely unfamiliar name to everyone. "May I ask who your master is?" Shao Kuang asked again. "Our master is Yi Li," Yutong said with a sweet smile. Outside the protection city, all the genetic warriors were shocked. Chapter 762, Apocalypse Legion Upgrades. Please reading on Zenvel. Omicron M, the head of the Shao family, Shao Kuang, looked at the Apocalypse Legion in a daze. "Why, your master is Senior Yi Li." The genetic warriors outside the protection city were also shocked. They had never expected the Apocalypse Legion to say such words. "That's right." Alta nodded. Shao Kuang clapped his hands. "Oh. It's really like a flood rushing into a Dragon King's temple. A family doesn't know a family." At this moment, Yi Li suddenly appeared between them. "Master." The 9 zombies of the Apocalypse Legion were all overjoyed. Yi Li nodded. "How is the Demon King Palace?" "Master, the Demon King Palace is now the strongest faction in the Mystic Land," Alta said. Then, Yi Li gave the Apocalypse Legion the 15 zombie upgrade potions he had obtained from the Kunlun Mirror trial. Before that, Yi Li synthesized the 2 5th-tier zombies in the system space respectively with Ada and Hongye. These 2 5th-tier zombies were synthesized by him and Xiaoyu in the zombie city. A few seconds later, Ada and Hongye upgraded to 6th-tier Lord-level zombies. "Drink the potion," Yi Li said to the Apocalypse Legion. After the Apocalypse Legion drank all the potions, their levels also changed. They had all become 6th-tier Lord-level zombies. Ada and Hongye didn't drink the Lord-level zombie upgrade potion. Yi Li smiled in satisfaction. The overall strength of the Apocalypse Legion had increased by another level. "Demon King, are they all your zombies?" The leader of the Wind Wolf tribe, Lang Ba, looked at Yi Li in horror. "What's wrong?" Yi Li turned around and asked Lang Ba. "Lord Demon King, can I ask what realm they are in?" Lang Ba looked at the Apocalypse Legion curiously. Everyone from the Shao family also looked at Yi Li because they also wanted to know the specific realm of the Apocalypse Army. "Do you really want to know?" Yi Li glanced at Lang Ba and the Shao family. Lang Ba and the Shao family members hurriedly nodded like chickens pecking at rice, as if they were afraid that Yi Li would go back on his word. "Alright, since you all want to know, I'll tell you." The Apocalypse Legion is all 6th tier Lord level zombies, Yili said slowly. What? When the Wind Wolf tribe leader, Lang Ba, and the Shao family members heard this, they all sucked in a breath of cold air and were dumbfounded. They were all 6th tier Lord level zombies. In other words, they were 9 Lord level zombies. At this moment, there were no words to describe the shock in the hearts of Lang Ba and the genetic warriors of the Shao family. Shao Kuang, the head of the Shao family, thought that the Apocalypse Legion was at most a master-level zombie. However, he didn't expect that the Apocalypse Legion was full of high-level Lord-level zombies. "I'll go take a nap first. Let me know when the Tyrant Whale Silver Sun Tiger race comes." As he spoke, Yili yawned, turned around, and slowly walked into the Protection City. The Apocalypse Legion followed closely behind. The leader of the Wind Wolf tribe, Lang Ba, and the genetic warriors of the Shao family were all stunned. They looked at the back of Yili and the Apocalypse Legion in shock. "Is this the real strength of Lord Demon King?" Lang Ba said in a daze because he realized that he had already started to worship Yili. It was a kind of worship that made him prostrate on the ground. "What are you guys thinking about?" Shao Kuang muttered. "Family head, I don't know what they're thinking, but I'm wondering why there's a man like Senior in this world." Chapter 763, The Tyrant Whale Silver Sun Tiger Race had arrived. Please reading on Zenvel. Omicron M Protection City. The Tyrant Whale Silver Sun Tiger Race arrived outside the Protection City. The hundreds of Tyrant Whale Silver Sun Tigers were truly shocking. When the Shao family's disciples saw that the Tyrant Whale Silver Sun Tiger Race had arrived, they were all frightened out of their wits and hurriedly ran in. "Senior! The Tyrant Whale Silver Sun Tiger Race is here." The Shao family disciple who reported the news hurriedly ran into the Shao family's hall. When the Wind Wolf tribe leader and the Shao family members heard this, they all stood up from their chairs. "The Tyrant Whale Silver Sun Tiger Race has arrived?" The Shao family head, Shao Kuang, looked at the Shao family disciples who came to report. "Yes, family head." The members of the Shao family and the leader of the Wind Wolf tribe, Lang Ba, hurriedly looked at Yili. Yili slowly took a sip of tea and looked at Lang Ba and the Shao family indifferently. "Let's go out," Yili said slowly. Immediately, the group of people headed out of the Protection City. Yili and his group arrived outside the Protection City and confronted the Tyrant Whale Silver Sun Tiger Race. "Who is Demon King Yili?" The leader of the Tyrant Whale Silver Sun Tiger Race said coldly to the crowd. Lang Ba and the Shao family were all shocked because the aura emitted by this Tyrant Whale Silver Sun Tiger was too terrifying. Their eyes were wide open, and they did not even dare to breathe. "I am Demon King Yili," Yili said calmly. The Tyrant Whale Silver Sun Tiger Race looked at Yili in unison. The leader of the Tyrant Whale Silver Sun Tiger Race smiled coldly. He stared at Yili and said, "Demon King Yili, you killed so many clansmen of my Tyrant Whale Silver Sun Tiger Race. You should know what happened to you, right?" Yili smiled calmly and shook his head slightly. "I, Yili, don't know what will happen to me." The Tyrant Whale Silver Sun Tiger Race was a little stunned. They didn't understand why Yili dared to say such words. At this point, he still didn't know the consequences. In the Northern Plains, anyone who had provoked the Tyrant Whale Silver Sun Tiger Race must die, not to mention that Yili had killed so many of them. "Demon King Yili, since you don't know, I'll tell you. You'll die without a burial place." The leader of the Tyrant Whale Silver Sun Tiger Race said coldly. Yili smiled to himself. His Apocalypse Legion was now all 6th-tier Lord-level zombies, while he was an 8th-tier Chosen One. Although there were hundreds of Tyrant Whale Silver Sun Tiger Race members, their strongest combat power was only at the 8th-tier Lord level. There were also a few 5th-tier Lord levels and 10-tier 1 Lord levels. The rest were nothing to be afraid of. Huh? The leader of the Tyrant Whale Silver Sun Tiger Race suddenly seemed to have discovered something. His expression could not help but be stunned. Demon King Yili, why don't you have the aura of a human? Also, the person behind you doesn't seem to have the aura of a human. The tyrant whale Silver Sun Tiger race was stunned. They naturally wanted to know why Yili didn't have the aura of a human. What's so strange about this? I, Yili, don't have the aura of a human. Isn't it because I'm not a human? As for them, they are all zombies in my Apocalypse Legion. What? The tyrant whale Silver Sun Tiger race was stunned. Demon King Yili wasn't a human, but a zombie? The leader of the tyrant whale Silver Sun Tiger race was also shocked. He narrowed his eyes and stared at Yili. His intuition told him that the Demon King Yili was definitely not simple. Demon King Yili, you said you're not human. Are you a zombie too? As soon as these words were spoken, not only the tyrant whale Silver Sun Tiger race, but even the Shao family could not help but be shocked. However, the corners of Yili's mouth curled up slightly, and a faint smile appeared on his face. I, Yili, am a demon. Chapter 764. What kind of sword was this? Please reading Omicron N's novel. Omicron M Demon. The tyrant whale Silver Sun Tigers and the Shao family were all stunned. They had been in the northern plains for so many years, but they had never heard of the demon race. What kind of member is a demon? The leader of the tyrant whale Silver Sun Tiger race stared at Yili and said firmly. Yili smiled faintly. It's a race that you can't imagine. Your tyrant whale Silver Sun Tiger race is like an ant in front of my race. Arrogant. The leader of the tyrant whale Silver Sun Tiger race shouted angrily and continued, Demon King Yili, what's there to be mysterious about? Attack. The leader of the tyrant whale Silver Sun Tiger race shouted. Immediately after, the tyrant whale Silver Sun Tiger race rushed towards Yili. Their aura was fully displayed, as if a black cloud was pressing down on them. Yili looked indifferently at the tyrant whale Silver Sun Tiger race that was rushing over. He took out the ancient dragon abyss sword from the system space. Divine level skill, I-11 severing sword, divine level skill, heaven sword technique, and heaven defying level skill, heavenly demon finger, synthesized. Countless terrifying illusions appeared on the ancient dragon abyss sword. There was a 5-clawed blood dragon, an ancient divine bell, an ancient divine sword, a heaven-opening axe, a cloud peak tower, and a world destruction mirror. I have a sword that can destroy the sky. As soon as he finished speaking, the sword fell. Countless divine lights flew towards the tyrant whale Silver Sun Tiger race at an astonishing speed. How could the tyrant whale Silver Sun Tiger race withstand such a terrifying attack? Their eyes widened. Boom! An earth-shattering bang sounded. The clouds moved, and the ground shook. The leader of the Wind Wolf tribe, Lang Ba, and the members of the Shao family looked at the scene before them in horror. There were no words that could describe the shock in their hearts. When the sword light slowly dissipated, Lang Ba and the Shao family looked in front of them. However, they discovered that the number of tyrant whale Silver Sun Tigers attacking had decreased drastically. There were only a few dozen of them left. Moreover, there was a 1,000-meter-long slash mark in front of them. How is this possible? The leader of the tyrant whale Silver Sun Tiger race shouted. He would never have thought that this would happen. Yili looked indifferently at the frightened face of the tyrant whale Silver Sun Tiger race's leader. He smiled faintly and slowly said, Now do you know how powerful demons are? The tyrant whale Silver Sun Tiger race was already scared out of their wits. In this world, good people will be afraid, and so will bad people. There's only one kind of person who won't be afraid, and that's the dead. With that, Yili hooked his finger at the remaining tyrant whale Silver Sun Tiger race members. Come over and let me, Yili, kill all of you. How could these tyrant whale Silver Sun Tigers dare to go over? They knew very well that if they went over, they would have no chance of survival. Demon King Yi Li The eyes of the leader of the tyrant whale Silver Sun Tiger race were red. He gritted his teeth hatefully. It seemed like he was prepared to risk his life with Yi Li. Yi Li smiled faintly. There was no change in his handsome face at all. What is there for you all to hesitate about? Could it be that you all still wish to escape even now? Silence, a deadly silence. When Yi Li slashed out, the leader of the Wind Wolf tribe, Lang Ba, and the members of the Shao family were already frozen like clay sculptures. They had never seen such a slash since they were born. Demon King Yi Li, at most, will fight to the death. The leader of the tyrant whale Silver Sun Tiger race said coldly. Yi Li smiled and shook his head slightly. A mocking look appeared on his face. You ants want to fight to the death with me? Chapter 765, Is this your escape route? Please reading Omicron N's novel. Omicron M, attack. The leader of the tyrant whale Silver Sun Tiger race roared angrily. This was the most furious he had ever been since he was born. As the leader of the tyrant whale Silver Sun Tiger race gave the order, the remaining tyrant whale Silver Sun Tigers all flew towards Yi Li. However, the leader of the tyrant whale Silver Sun Tiger race did not come over. Go. Yi Li exhaled a word softly. Roar. The Apocalypse Legion flew towards the tyrant whale Silver Sun Tiger race. Boom. The Apocalypse Legion and the tyrant whale Silver Sun Tiger race fought. Unfortunately, the leader of the tyrant whale Silver Sun Tiger race never expected that his tyrant whale Silver Sun Tiger race could not defeat the Apocalypse Legion. Zombies? The leader of the tyrant whale Silver Sun Tiger race took 3 steps back. He remembered that Yi Li had said that they were zombies. He had never even heard of such terrifying zombies before, let alone seen them. The tyrant whale Silver Sun Tiger kept dying. In the face of the 9 6th-tier Lord-level zombies of the Apocalypse Legion, they were still not enough. The eyes of the leader of the tyrant whale Silver Sun Tiger race flashed. Then, he gritted his teeth and made a decision. This decision was to run. In the blink of an eye. The leader of the tyrant whale Silver Sun Tiger race disappeared on the spot in a flash. Yi Li had already set his eyes on the leader of the tyrant whale Silver Sun Tiger race. Seeing that he actually wanted to escape, Yi Li could not help but shake his head. Many people or members of the dark race always wanted to escape when facing him. Unfortunately, how could they escape from Yi Li's palm? Immediately, Yi Li activated the swift steps and disappeared. The leader of the tyrant whale Silver Sun Tiger race ran all the way. He only hated himself for not having 100 legs. Then, he could have escaped from this place. Yi Li's swift steps was naturally much faster than his. Not long after, he caught up to the leader of the tyrant whale Silver Sun Tiger race. The Demon King Yi Li shouldn't have chased after us, right? The leader of the tyrant whale Silver Sun Tiger race stopped in his tracks. He took a few deep breaths and sighed endlessly in his heart. As the dignified leader of the tyrant whale Silver Sun Tiger race, he did not expect to end up in such a state. Is this your escape route? Suddenly, a lazy voice entered the ears of the leader of the tyrant whale Silver Sun Tiger race. What? The tyrant whale Silver Sun Tiger race leader's entire body trembled, and a chill rushed from his tailbone to the top of his head. This was, as if he had fallen into an ice cave. He quickly looked in the direction of the voice and saw Yi Li sitting on a tree in front of him, looking at him indifferently. Demon King Yi Li. The leader of the tyrant whale Silver Sun Tiger race seemed to have been drained of all his strength as he looked at Yi Li with an ashen face. Demon King Yi Li, we don't have any deep hatred. As long as you can spare my life, I will definitely repay you in the future. The leader of the tyrant whale Silver Sun Tiger race looked at Yi Li and said. Yi Li smiled calmly. He sized up the leader of the tyrant whale Silver Sun Tiger and slowly said, Do you think an ant like you deserves to repay me, Yi Li? The leader of the tyrant whale Silver Sun Tiger race took 3 steps back and looked at Yi Li in shock. Demon King Yi Li, Are we really going to fight to the death? A few seconds later, the leader of the tyrant whale Silver Sun Tiger race said coldly. Yi Li smiled faintly and a playful look appeared on his face. Do you think an ant like you is worthy of fighting with me, Yi Li? Cut the crap. Come and die. Yi Li hooked his finger at the leader of the tyrant whale Silver Sun Tiger race. The leader of the tyrant whale Silver Sun Tiger race knew that he could not escape. He gritted his teeth. Overlord Axe. Chapter 766, The Leader of the Tyrant Whale Silver Sun. Please reading Omicron N's novel. Omicron M Tiger Race died. The leader of the tyrant whale Silver Sun Tiger Race shouted and a black axe appeared in his hand. Demon King Yi Li, you forced me to do this. The leader of the tyrant whale Silver Sun Tiger Race glared at Yi Li. Yi Li smiled faintly and slowly said to the leader of the tyrant whale Silver Sun Tiger Race, so what if I force you? You're just an ant. When the tyrant whale Silver Sun Tiger leader heard this, he was incomparably furious. Demon King Yi Li, I'll fight it out with you. As soon as he finished speaking, the leader of the tyrant whale Silver Sun Tiger Race pounced at Yi Li with a black axe. The leader of the tyrant whale Silver Sun Tiger Race was an 8th tier lord level, while Yi Li was an 8th tier chosen one. If Yi Li was an ordinary 8th tier chosen one, then this battle would undoubtedly be like a tiger in the mountains meeting a tiger in the mountains, a dragon in the clouds meeting a dragon in the fog. Unfortunately, Yi Li was not an ordinary 8th tier chosen one. Just as the leader of the tyrant whale Silver Sun Tiger Race was only a step away from Yi Li, the ancient dragon Abyss sword had already appeared in his hand. Clang! The leader of the tyrant whale Silver Sun Tiger Race raised his black axe and struck the immemorial dragon Abyss sword heavily. However, the expression of the leader of the tyrant whale Silver Sun Tiger Race turned pale with fright. Impossible. This is absolutely impossible. The leader of the tyrant whale Silver Sun Tiger Race shouted. His expression was already extremely terrified. This was because when the black axe struck the immemorial dragon Abyss sword, the black axe broke. Yi Li looked at the leader of the tyrant whale Silver Sun Tiger Race and a playful expression appeared on his face. I've said it before. You're just an ant. Why don't you believe what Yi Li, said? When the leader of the tyrant whale Silver Sun Tiger Race heard this, he looked at Yi Li in horror. Immediately, his pupils constricted because the ancient dragon Abyss sword was already stabbing at him. Ali! The speed of Yi Li's sword was too fast. The leader of the tyrant whale Silver Sun Tiger Race had never seen such a terrifying sword speed. As an 8th tier cultivator, he realized that he could not dodge this sword at all. As the ancient dragon Abyss sword stabbed out, the life of the leader of the tyrant whale Silver Sun Tiger Race would disappear from this world forever. Looking at the corpse of the tyrant whale Silver Sun Tiger Race's leader on the ground, Yi Li sighed slightly. I think you should understand the truth, there are some people in this world whom you can't afford to provoke. As soon as he finished speaking, Yi Li placed the ancient dragon Abyss sword into the system space and used swift steps to disappear from the spot. Yi Li arrived at the protection city. The members of the Shao family and the leader of the Wind Wolf tribe, Lang Ba, looked at Yi Li with extreme respect. They knew very well that Yi Li was an existence that they could only look up to in their entire lives. Senior, you've returned. Xiao Yu was the first to speak. Yi Li nodded and looked at Xiao Yu. Come with me to the Demon King Palace. Xiao Yu was stunned. She naturally did not know what kind of place the Demon King Palace was. Senior, the Demon King Palace is, the Shao family's family head, Shao Kuang, was the first to ask. Yi Li slowly said, the Demon King Palace is my sect. When Shao Kuang heard this, his old face lit up with joy. He thought that if his granddaughter went to Senior's sect, her future would definitely be limitless. Yuer, follow Senior to the Demon King Palace. Xiao Yu did not know what to do, so she could only agree. Since that's the case, it's time for us to leave, Yi Li said slowly. Everyone present was stunned. They didn't expect Yi Li to leave so quickly. Chapter 767, The Two Sisters from the East. Please reading Omicron N's novel. Omicron M. Demon King Palace. Leng Shui walked back and forth in the hall, wondering why the Apocalypse Legion had all gone to the northern plains. Did something happen to Yi Li? Then, Leng Shui shook her head. She didn't think that something could happen to someone like Yi Li, Senior. Nothing must happen to you. Leng Shui muttered to herself. Her fair face looked a little lonely. Do you really not want anything to happen to me? A lazy voice entered Leng Shui's ears. When Leng Shui heard this voice, her pupils could not help but constrict. She was too familiar with this voice. Senior. Yi Li and the Apocalypse Legion had already appeared in front of her. Of course, Yi Li knew that Leng Shui had fallen for her, but he could do nothing about it. There were too many people in this world who liked him. Yi Li, this is my new disciple. Yi Li looked at Leng Shui. Then, he looked at Xiao Yu and said, she will be your master from now on. Yes, Senior. Xiao Yu hurriedly nodded. Yi Li leaped and landed on the throne directly above. Leng Shui, I heard that the Demon King Palace has become the strongest force in the Mystic Land. Yi Li looked at Leng Shui. Yes, Senior. One think it won't be long before the Demon King Palace becomes the strongest faction in the Eastern Realm. Yi Li stayed in the Demon King Palace for a month. During this month, he had been cultivating in the Heavenly Tower under the Crooked Tree. The Crooked Tree was very big and was not far from the Demon King Palace. The surrounding scenery was very pleasant. I've finally reached the 9th tier chosen one. Yi Li opened his eyes and let out a shaky breath. Sister, what kind of power is the Demon King Palace? I don't know. I heard that it's the strongest faction in the Mystic Land. I've never heard of it before. At this moment, two voices that sounded like orioles leaving the valley entered Yi Li's ears. Yi Li looked in the direction of the voice and saw two girls in front of him. One was about 20 years old and the other was about 17 or 18 years old. What Yi Li did not expect was that one of these two girls was a 5th-tier transcender and the other was a Tier 4 transcender. Instantly, Yi Li knew that they were definitely not from the Mystic Land. It was impossible for such a genius to exist in the Mystic Land. Sister, there's someone ahead. Qing Ruo pointed at a place. Someone's here. Qing Zhu followed the direction of Qjng Ruo's finger and saw a man who looked like a beggar. At this point, Qing Zhu's fair face could not help but reveal a hint of disgust. May I ask where the Demon King Palace is? Qing Ruo asked Yi Li sweetly. Why are you looking for the Demon King Palace? Yi Li asked slowly. Humph. Qing Zhu snorted and walked in front of Yi Li, looking at him coldly. We're from the Eastern Land and came to the Mystic Land to play. Along the way, we heard that the Demon King Palace is very strong. The palace master is some Demon King, Yi Li. I also heard that Demon King Yi Li has an Apocalypse Legion. They're all terrifying zombies. What's even more ridiculous is that they say that Demon King Yi Li can fly and jump from tall buildings like walking on flat ground. We came to the Demon King Palace to see how outstanding Demon King Yi Li is. Yi Li smiled to himself. He thought that these two fairy-like girls in front of him should be sisters. One was gentle, while the other was a red chili pepper on a high mountain. It was really interesting. I advise you to go back to where you came from. You are no match for Demon King Yi Li, Yi Li said slowly. Chapter 768, How dare you call me a stinky beggar? Please reading Omicron N's novel. Omicron M. Qing Zhu was stunned when she heard that. She looked at Yi Li in disgust. Smelly beggar, what do you mean? This time, it was Yi Li's turn to be stunned. Stinky beggar. He, Yi Li, was as handsome as jade. How could he be called a beggar? Is there something wrong with your eyes? Shouldn't you ask me why there is such a good-looking person like me in this world? Yili looked at Qing Zhu in confusion. When Qing Zhu heard this, she could not help but be dumbfounded. Even in her dreams, she would not have thought that this stinky beggar would be so thick-skinned. In fact, Yili really looked like a beggar now. After a month of continuous cultivation, how could he not look like a beggar? However, it could not hide the strong heroic aura around him. I'm sorry, that's not what my sister meant. Qing Ruo quickly apologized to Yili. Roar, why are you wasting your breath on this stinky beggar? Qing Zhu looked at Yili in disdain. After saying that, Qing Zhu mocked Yili, stupid beggar, tell us where the Demon King Palace is, or 111 teach you a lesson. Yili laughed secretly. He thought to himself that this girl really had a bad temper. You're coming to the Demon King Palace to challenge Demon King Yili? Yili asked. That's right. We just want to see how terrifying Demon King Yili, who is feared by everyone in the Mystic Land, is. Qing Zhu said coldly. Yili looked at the sun in the sky and then at his hand. Actually, I am Demon King Yili. What? Qing Zhu and Qing Ruo were stunned. They did not expect Yili to say such a thing. Stupid beggar, I think you won't shed a tear until you see your coffin. Qing Zhu said coldly to Yili. Yili smiled calmly. I will never fear even in the face of death, because I'll never be in that situation. You. Qing Zhu really did not expect a beggar to be so arrogant. It was just the small mystic land. Are you really Demon King Yili? Qing Ruo's fair face was filled with doubt. Roar, how could he be the Demon King Yili? He's clearly a stinky beggar. Qing Zhu said. Yili was stunned. Why didn't they believe them? He was really the Demon King. Yili, the Demon King Palace is there. You guys can go over, Yili said lightly. Qing Zhu sneered when he heard that. Stupid beggar, at least you have some foresight. Otherwise, you would have ended up in a terrible state. Immediately, Qing Zhu and Qing Ruo headed towards the Demon King Palace. Yili looked at the backs of the two girls and couldn't help but shake his head, thinking that these two girls were quite interesting. However, Yili was a little puzzled. He looked like a prince in a fairy tale. Why did Qing Zhu call him a stinky beggar? Then, he walked to a spring. It didn't matter if he didn't look, but when he did, he was shocked. Only then did he understand why Qing Zhu called him a stinky beggar. It turned out that he really did look like a beggar. Without thinking too much, Yili bought a set of clothes from the Point Mall and took a shower. The faint sunlight shone on Yili's body. He was dressed in green and stood upright. Strangely, after he got dressed up, both Yili and the sun became brighter. However, no one knew if the sun lit up Yili or Yili lit up the sun. Yili thought about how he was now a 9th-tier chosen one. He had to gather zombies to upgrade the Apocalypse Legion. Otherwise, the army's strength would not be able to keep up. The geniuses of the Eastern Land were actually so powerful. The Eastern Land must be much stronger than the Mystic Land. If one did not have powerful strength, he would only die in the post-apocalyptic world. Chapter 769 I am Demon King Yili. Please reading Omicron N's novel. Omicron M. Qing Zhu and Qing Ruo arrived outside the Demon King Palace. Sister, is this the Demon King Palace? Qing Ruo's fair face was a little shocked. She thought to herself that this Demon King Palace was too terrifying. It looked so majestic, and the spiritual energy was extremely dense here. Humph. Qing Zhu sneered as a look of disdain flashed across his eyes. It's just a small faction in the Mystic Land. What's there to make a fuss about? Sister, I think we should be more careful. If the Demon King Palace is very strong, then we, before Qjng Ruo could finish her sentence, Qing Zhu interrupted her. Roar, we are from the Silver Blizzard Palace. We are the strongest geniuses in the world. Qing Zhu said to Qing Ruo. Immediately, Qing Zhu and Qing Ruo continued to move forward. Stop! What are you doing? Suddenly, a cold shout entered Qing Zhu and Qing Ruo's ears. The two girls stopped in their tracks and sized up the disciples in front of them disdainfully. Get out of the way. Qing Zhu said coldly. These people were stunned. They were all disciples of the Demon King Palace. It had to be known that the current Demon King Palace was the strongest faction in the Mystic Land, and there was no one else. Do you know that this is the Demon King Palace? A tier 4 evolved being disciple shouted. I'm sorry, can you report to your hall master that we want to challenge him? Qing Ruo looked at the few disciples in front of her seriously and said. The few Demon King Palace disciples guarding the door were shocked. How could they have expected Qing Ruo to say such a thing? Ha ha ha. Then, the disciples of the Demon King Palace burst into laughter, as if they had heard the funniest joke in the world. They want to challenge the Demon King, ha ha ha. There are always so many ants in this world. Don't you know who you are? You actually want to challenge the Demon King. Qing Zhu was a hot-tempered person. How could she bear it when she heard this? In an instant, she only left an afterimage on the spot. Boom! With a palm strike, a few disciples guarding the Demon King Palace were sent flying and landed heavily on the ground. These disciples also knew that the two women were not to be trifled with, so they struggled to get up from the ground. You wait. With that, the disciples ran in. Qing Zhu could not help but snort coldly when she saw these disciples covering their heads and fleeing like rats. I originally thought that the Demon King Palace had some strength, but now it seems that they're all a bunch of snakes and rats. Yili looked at the backs of the two girls. He smiled to himself and slowly said, the Demon King Palace is not a bunch of snakes and rats. The two girls quickly turned around and saw Yili slowly walking towards them. Who are you? Qing Zhu stared at Yili. Sister, his voice sounds a little familiar. Qing Ruo said in astonishment. Yili smiled lightly. You forgot so quickly. You just called me a stinky beggar. What? Qing Zhu and Qing Ruo were stunned. They looked at Yili in shock. He was clearly a stinky beggar just now. Why did he become a different person now? The current stinky beggar was as handsome as Jade. Are you really the person just now? Qing Ruo's fair face was filled with doubt. Yili smiled faintly. That's right. Qing Zhu snorted again. So what? Are you also a disciple of the Demon King Palace? Yili shook his head slowly. Didn't I tell you? I'm the Demon King, Yili. Chapter 770, You're really the Demon King Yili? Ease reading on novel cool. Omicron M. Qing Zhu glanced at Yili. She really did not understand why this person in front of her was so thick-skinned. I'm telling you, it'll give you 1 second to disappear from my sight. Otherwise, your outcome, Qing Zhu did not continue. It meant that he could understand it on his own. You can't be the Demon King Yili. I heard that the Demon King Yili has 3 heads and 6 arms. You're so good-looking. How can you be the Demon King Yili? Qing Ruo smiled at Yili. Yili was stunned. Who was spreading this nonsense? He had 3 heads and 6 arms. At this moment, Ling Shui arrived with the disciples of the Demon King Palace. Who dares to cause trouble in my Demon King Palace? Ling Shui said coldly. Qing Zhu did not continue to look at Yili. She looked at Ling Shui and the disciples of the Demon King Palace. Which one of you is Demon King Yili? As soon as these words were spoken, Ling Shui and the disciples of the Demon King Palace were all stunned. They were wondering what was wrong with this person. Wasn't Demon King Yili beside you? Yili slowly walked towards the people from the Demon King Palace. When he reached Leng Shui, he slowly turned around and looked at Qing Zhu and Qing Ruo indifferently. Senior, why are you with them? Leng Shui looked at Yi Li in confusion. Yi Li smiled and slowly said, I just think they're quite interesting. Qing Zhu and Qing Ruo were still in a daze as they looked at Yi Li in shock. You, who exactly are you? Yi Li smiled faintly and said to Qing Zhu and Qing Ruo, didn't I say that I'm the Demon King Yi Li? It's just that you didn't believe me. That's right, this is our Demon King, Lord Yi Li. Leng Shui also said coldly to the two women. What? When Qing Zhu and Qing Ruo heard this, they were really stunned. It was because they would never have dreamed that he was really the Demon King. Yi Li, are you really Demon King Yi Li? Qing Zhu still looked at Yi Li in disbelief. Humph. Leng Shui snorted coldly. How can that be fake? Hearing this answer, Qing Zhu and Qing Ruo couldn't help but look at each other. The rumor they heard was that Demon King Yi Li had 3 heads and 6 arms and was extremely ugly, but the person in front of them, this was a face that they had never seen since they were born. At the same time, they did not understand why there was such a good-looking person in this world. A moment later, Qing Zhu and Qing Ruo finally came back to their senses. Qing Zhu stared at Yi Li and said coldly, Ruo and I came to the Demon King Palace to see Demon King Yi Li. Since you are Demon King Yi Li, let me see how capable you are. That's right. Sister and I are here to challenge you. Qing Ruo also said. However, to the surprise of the two women, their words caused a wave of earth-shattering laughter. Ha ha ha. Everyone from the Demon King Palace burst into laughter. They were laughing so hard that they could not even straighten their backs. What are you laughing at? Qing Zhu said coldly. Even if she used all her strength, she would not be able to figure out why these people in front of her were laughing. Don't you think it's ridiculous? You want to challenge a senior with just the two of you? Leng Shui looked at the two women disdainfully. Qing Zhu and Qing Ruo were stunned. They thought that they must not know their identities. Otherwise, they would have been scared out of their wits. Do you know who we are? Who are you guys? I, Yi Li, am interested to know. Yi Li looked at Qing Zhu and Qing Ruo indifferently. Chapter 771 I give you this chance to challenge me. Ease reading on novel cool. Omicron M. Qing Zhu looked at Yi Li proudly. Demon King Yi Li, since you want to know our identities so much, I'll tell you. We are from the Silver Blizzard Palace, a supreme power in the Eastern Land. In Qing Zhu and Qing Ruo's opinion, when Demon King Yi Li and the people from the Demon King Palace heard the words Silver Blizzard Palace, they would all be shocked. However, when they saw the expressions on the faces of Demon King Yi Li and the others, they realized that not only were they wrong, but they were also completely wrong. What kind of power is the Silver Blizzard Palace? Why haven't one heard of it before? She said it's from the Eastern Land. Most importantly, I've never heard of any faction in the Eastern Land. Everyone in the Demon King Palace started whispering. Qing Zhu and Qing Ruo were stunned. Only then did they know why Demon King Yi Li and the people from the Demon King Palace were not afraid. It turned out that they did not know about the Silver Blizzard Palace at all. You guys. The Silver Blizzard Palace is a supreme force in the Eastern Land. Yi Li smiled calmly and looked at Qing Zhu indifferently. Unfortunately, this is the Mystic Land. As soon as these words were spoken, Qing Zhu and Qing Ruo could not help but tremble. They widened their eyes and looked at Yi Li. Didn't you want to challenge me, Yi Li? I'll give you a chance now, Yi Li said to the two girls. Demon King Yi Li, are you really ready? We are very strong. Qing Zhu's fair face revealed an extremely proud expression. Yi Li's handsome face was very calm. He said slowly, you two come at me together. 1 use one finger. What did you say? Qing Zhu and Qing Ruo were stunned. They had never seen someone as arrogant as Yili. Demon King Yili, don't you think you're too arrogant? Qing Zhu stared at Yili and said firmly. Yili smiled again. I, Yili, am arrogant. What can you do? I'm afraid you don't know that in my eyes, you are as weak as ants. Qing Zhu had had a bad temper since she was born. Now that she heard Yili's words, how could she tolerate it? Demon King Yili, I'll teach you a lesson. As soon as she finished speaking, Qing Zhu raised her palm and flew towards Yili. Her speed was a little too fast. Unfortunately, Qing Zhu was only a 5th-tier transcender. In front of Yili, she was really pitifully weak. Qing Zhu's palm was filled with purple gold spiritual qi. It was a shocking sight. Boom! When she was only a few steps away from Yili, Qing Zhu's palm struck towards Yili's body. However, what Qing Zhu did not expect was that just as her palm was about to touch Yili's body, Yili suddenly disappeared on the spot. What? Qing Zhu was shocked. She was shocked because she realized that she could not catch Yili's speed. When Yili appeared again, he was already behind Qing Zhu. Sister, watch your back. Qing Ruo hurriedly shouted at Qing Zhu. Only then did Qing Zhu react. She quickly turned around, but when she did, she was shocked. Yili had already raised his finger. Terrifying white spiritual energy wrapped around his finger, making one's guts rupture. I have a finger that can pierce through the sky. As soon as he finished speaking, an extremely terrifying finger rushed towards Qing Zhu. Qing Zhu was shocked. She realized that she could not dodge this speed at all. She froze on the spot. Chapter 772, Senior asked me to bring you food. Ease reading on novel cool. Omicron sister. Qing Ruo shouted. Qing Zhu was horrified. She had already closed her eyes. She dared to swear that she had never seen such a terrifying attack in her life. She originally thought that she would definitely die, but it was a pity that she never expected Yili to stop his fingers when he was just a hair's breadth away from her head. Silence, a deadly silence. Do you still want to challenge me, Demon King Yili? Yili said slowly. Qing Zhu was shocked. She opened her eyes and looked at Yili in shock. You, how can you be so strong? Qing Zhu could not believe it. She really could not believe it. Yili looked at the sun in the sky and slowly said, well, not very strong. Qing Ruo had already collapsed to the ground. She had originally thought that her sister, Senior Demon King, thank you for not killing my sister. Qing Ruo hurriedly walked in front of Yili and said gratefully. Yili smiled. His handsome face was very calm as he said lightly, I'm not interested in killing ants like you. As soon as these words were spoken, Qing Zhu and Qing Ruo could not help but tremble. However, they did not know how to refute. Yili's attack just now was too terrifying. They only felt that at that moment, they had entered the purgatory. One want to be your disciple. Suddenly, Qing Zhu looked at Yili firmly. Yili was stunned. He did not expect Qing Zhu to have the courage to go higher. There's no need to acknowledge me as your master. You can join the Demon King Palace, Yili said calmly. No. I want to acknowledge you as my master. Qing Zhu's fair face was incomparably determined. Yili was stunned again. He didn't expect this girl to be so determined. Not bad. Senior Demon King, one also want to acknowledge you as my master. Qing Ruo also said firmly to Yili. Yili shook his head slightly. I'm not going to take you in as my disciples. If you don't accept us as your disciples, well, stand here forever. Qing Zhu said. Yili yawned and said slowly, you can stand here if you want to. Then, Yili and the people from the Demon King Palace walked towards the Demon King Palace. Qing Zhu and Qing Ruo looked at the backs of Yili and the people from the Demon King Palace. They could not help but clench their teeth. Sister, are we really going to stand here forever? Qing Ruo looked at Qing Zhu and said. Yes. Roar, you don't know, but in that moment of life and death, I actually felt my soul trembling. Demon King Yi Li is really too strong. Just like that, Qing Zhu and Qing Ruo stood in front of the Demon King Palace for 3 days and 3 nights without eating or drinking. Demon King Palace. Senior, they have been standing for 3 days and 3 nights. Look, Leng Shui looked at Yi Li and asked. Yi Li smiled. He originally thought that rich young ladies like Qing Zhu and Qing Ruo would not have such perseverance. He did not expect that they would stand for 3 days and 3 nights. Go and give them something to eat, Yi Li said. Leng Shui nodded and immediately led a few Demon King Palace disciples down the mountain. Not long after, Leng Shui and a few Demon King Palace disciples arrived at the foot of the mountain. Senior asked me to bring you some food. Leng Shui got someone to pass the food and water to Qing Zhu and Qing Ruo. But to Leng Shui's surprise, Qing Zhu and Qing Ruo actually didn't seem to appreciate her kindness. This caused her to be slightly displeased. Do you really think of yourselves as important figures? Leng Shui stared at the 2 women as she spoke. Chapter 773, You Think I Lie. Ease reading on novel cool. Omicron M. Qing Zhu and Qing Ruo were stunned when they heard this. They raised their heads and stared at Leng Shui. Then who are you? Qing Zhu glared at Leng Shui. Leng Shui smiled when she heard that. I'm the master of all the disciples of the Demon King Palace. Qing Zhu and Qing Ruo could not help but be stunned again. So what? We want to worship Senior Demon King, not you. You. Leng Shui was a little angry. She did not expect these 2 girls to be so stubborn. Senior won't take you as his disciples. If I were you, I would go back to where I came from. Why are you here looking for this torture? Leng Shui looked at Qing Zhu and Qing Ruo mockingly. What does it have to do with you? Qing Zhu said coldly. Leng Shui thought to herself that it was fine if she did not listen to her kind advice, but she actually said such infuriating words. Are you guys asking for a beating? Leng Shui stared at the 2 women. We're not asking for a beating. We just want to acknowledge Demon King Yi Li as our master. A stubborn expression appeared on Qing Ruo's fair face. Qing Zhu sneered and looked at Leng Shui. I'm afraid you're not our match. Ha! Leng Shui wanted to laugh. She really wanted to laugh. Naturally, after Yi Li gave her the upgrade potion, she was now a Tier 1 chosen one. Qing Zhu and Qing Ruo were only 5th tier surpassers and Tier 4 transcender. They were not enough in front of her. If you don't believe me, give it a try. After saying that, Leng Shui hooked her finger at the 2 girls. Seeing this, Qing Zhu was furious and immediately attacked Leng Shui. Unfortunately, how could Qing Zhu, a 5th tier surpasser, be Leng Shui's match? In an instant, Qing Zhu was defeated. When Qing Ruo saw this, she also prepared to attack Leng Shui. Qing Ruo was only a Tier 4 transcender, so she was even less of a match for Leng Shui. Stop it! Suddenly, a lazy voice entered the girls' ears. The girls looked in the direction of the voice and saw Yi Li sitting on a tree not far away. A playful look appeared on his handsome face as he looked at them indifferently. Of course, they didn't know when Yi Li arrived. For a moment, Qing Zhu and Qing Ruo were stunned. Demon King Yi Li, are you willing to accept us as your disciples? Qing Zhu looked at Yi Li firmly. Yi Li smiled and his hair started to move even though there was no wind. He looked at Qing Zhu. I remember you saying that you're a disciple of the Silver Blizzard Palace. You already have a sect, so why do you still want to acknowledge me, Yi Li, as your master? Obviously, this was something that Yi Li could not understand no matter what. Demon King Yi Li, Roar, and I actually escaped to the Mystic Land. Because Roar and I offended the Grand Elder of the Silver Blizzard Palace, we were chased all the way. As they spoke, Qing Zhu and Qing Rua's fair faces began to look extremely sad. Yi Li secretly smiled and thought that it was probably not as simple as offending the Grand Elder. Otherwise, why would he have to chase them all the way from the east to the Mystic Land? I see that your talents are not bad and your strength is not bad. I, Yi Li, will reluctantly accept you. Yi Li said calmly to Qing Zhu and Qing Rua. Qing Zhu and Qing Rua could not help but be shocked when they heard this. The two women looked at Yi Li in shock as if they could not believe it. Senior Demon King, are you really willing to accept us as your disciples? Qing Rua's fair face was very stunned. Yi Li smiled and looked at Qing Rua indifferently. Do you think someone like me, Yi Li, would lie? Chapter 774, Golden Sky Bull Tribe Ease reading on novel Cool. Omicron Leng Shui was a little unwilling. She looked at Yi Li in shock. It was obvious that she did not expect Yi Li to agree to take them as his disciples. Senior, did you really agree? Leng Shui looked at Yi Li. Yi Li nodded and said to Leng Shui, I have nothing to do anyway. It's not a bad idea to take in 2 disciples. In fact, Yi Li's heart was as clear as a mirror. The reason why Qing Zhu and Qing Rua wanted to acknowledge him as their master was because he wanted him to protect them after he displayed his strength. After all, they were being hunted down. Qing Zhu and Qing Rua became Yi Li's disciples. Everyone in the Demon King Palace knew. Master, didn't they say that you have the Apocalypse Legion? Can you let us take a look? Qing Rua said sweetly to Yi Li. Qing Zhu also looked at Yi Li curiously. Do you really want to see it? Yi Li smiled calmly. Qing Zhu and Qing Rua nodded, their eyes filled with curiosity. Immediately, Yi Li released the Apocalypse Legion from the system space. Fist God Zombie Da, Ice Zombie Hong Ye, Iron-Legged Zombie Bai Wawa, Petrified Zombie Yutong, Swallowing Zombie Bone Maiden, Ghost Sword Zombie Chi, Divine Spear Zombie Long Yu, Zombie Queen Mou, and Doll Zombie Yu Zhu. The 9 Lord-level zombies of the Apocalypse Legion appeared in front of Qing Zhu and Qing Rua. Qing Zhu and Qing Rua were both stunned. They were incomparably shocked. They thought that this was the Apocalypse Legion. They could not help but feel shocked and they looked at the Apocalypse Legion. Now, the reputation of Demon King Yi Li and the Apocalypse Legion in the Mystic Land could be said to be thunderous. It could be said that everyone knew about them. Anyone who mentioned Demon King Yi Li and the Apocalypse Legion would be terrified. A month later. Lord Demon King. Lord Demon King. A disciple suddenly rushed into the hall, his face filled with shock. What happened? Leng Shui quickly asked. A large number of dark race members and zombies have been discovered. They're heading towards the Demon King Palace. What? Leng Shui's expression changed. However, Yi Li showed a playful smile on his face. As the saying goes, a tree wants to be quiet, but the wind doesn't stop. He was thinking about where to find zombies to upgrade the Apocalypse Legion. And now, the zombies had come knocking on his door. There's a path to heaven, but you don't take it, there is no gate to hell, but you force your way in. How many zombies are there? Yi Li looked at the messenger. Lord Demon King, I'm afraid there are tens of thousands of zombies. The disciple of the Demon King Palace hurriedly replied. Seeing this, Yi Li's handsome face lit up. Get ready for battle, Yi Li said slowly. A few hours later, countless dark race members and zombies appeared at the foot of the Demon King Mountain. There were so many of them that it looked like a black cloud was pressing down on them. Where is Demon King Yi Li? Suddenly, a thunderous voice entered everyone's ears. Everyone from the Demon King Palace looked at the dark race member who spoke and realized that it was a bull, a golden bull. It's the Golden Sky Bull Tribe. Leng Shui said to Yili, the Golden Sky Bull tribe is very powerful in the Mystic Land, but they haven't appeared in a long time, Leng Shui continued. At this moment, the Golden Sky Bull tribe and tens of thousands of zombies were all ready to fight as they stared at the people from the Demon King Palace. When Qing Zhu and Qing Rua saw this scene, they could not help but be shocked. Demon King Yili, what's the matter? Yili looked at the Golden Sky Bull indifferently. Chapter 775, The Angry Golden Sky Bull Tribe ease reading on Novel Cool. Hundreds of Golden Sky Bull Tribe members stared at Yili. I didn't expect that someone in the Mystic Land would actually claim to be the king after our Golden Sky Bull Tribe hasn't appeared for a long time. What a joke. An 8th-tier Lord-level Golden Sky Bull stared at Yili. This 8th-tier Golden Sky Bull was the leader of the Golden Sky Bull Tribe. The Golden Sky Bull's entire bodies were golden, their bodies strong and robust. They had a pair of horns that shot into the sky, and held a large white bone club in their hands. It was a shocking sight. Demon King Yili, one heard that you're the strongest person in the Mystic Land now. You even said that you're not human but a demon. Ha ha ha. The leader of the Golden Sky Bull tribe laughed and said to Yili, demons only exist in the land of sin. How dare you call yourself a demon? When Yili heard this, he could not help but narrow his eyes. There were demons in the land of sin. This was something he did not know before. Everyone from the Demon King Palace, Qing Zhu, and Qing Rua were stunned. The people from the Demon King Palace had naturally never heard of the demon race. As for Qing Zhu and Qing Rua, they knew about the land of sin and also knew about demons. The land of sin and the eastern realm were separated by the sea. It was countless times more terrifying than the eastern, southern, western, and northern realms. As for the demons, they were the most powerful race in the land of sin. Even the dark races trembled before them. How is it, Demon King Yili? Do you want me to attack your sect or do you want to kowtow to me 3 times? The leader of the Golden Sky Bull tribe looked at Yili with extreme disdain. Arrogant, absolutely arrogant. Everyone from the Demon King Palace was furious because they had never seen such an arrogant dark race member. They all looked at Yili to see what he had to say. However, to everyone's surprise, there was no change in Yili's expression. It was as if nothing had happened. Yili looked at the sun in the sky. After a few seconds, he looked at the leader of the Golden Sky Bull tribe and slowly said, "Why did you choose to kill yourself?" What? The Golden Sky Bull tribe was stunned. It was obvious that they didn't know what Yili meant. Demon King Yili, what do you mean? The leader of the Golden Sky Bull tribe stared at Yili. He didn't understand why the Demon King Yili could still be so calm at this time. However, Yili smiled calmly and looked at the leader of the Golden Sky Bull tribe calmly. You came to find trouble with me, the Demon King, Yili. What's the difference between that and suicide? As soon as these words were spoken, the entire Golden Sky Bull tribe was furious. The leader of the Golden Sky Bull tribe laughed coldly. As expected of Demon King Yili. Your tongue is indeed not something we can match. One just don't know if your strength is proportional to your eloquence. Yili smiled again and said leisurely to the leader of the Golden Sky Bull tribe, how can a dark race idiot like you change? Only death can change you. When the Golden Sky Bull tribe heard this, they were furious. They gritted their teeth and stared at Yili. Demon King Yili, one only wanted to teach you a lesson, but now it seems that you have no choice but to die. The leader of the Golden Sky Bull tribe shouted angrily. Is that so? Then should I, Yili, thank you. Yili smiled and continued, do you believe that one can let you see their corpses? The leader of the Golden Sky Bull tribe's expression turned cold as he said coldly, what did you say? So you're not only a pitifully weak ant, but you're also deaf? Yili looked at the leader of the Golden Sky Bull tribe playfully. Chapter 776, Keep My Word Ease reading on Novel Cool. Omicron M. When the leader of the Golden Sky Bull tribe heard this, he couldn't take it anymore. He raised the white bone club in his hand and suddenly attacked Yili. Yili smiled coldly. I'm the Demon King Yili. Do you think I'm afraid of you? Swish! A terrifying dragon cry sounded in everyone's ears. Everyone took a closer look. It didn't matter if they didn't look, but when they did, they were all shocked. They saw a 5-clawed blood dragon circling above Yili. Looking at the ancient dragon abyss sword in Yili's hand, they were all so frightened that they took 3 steps back. Just by looking at this sword, they felt like they were in purgatory. Clang! With the sound of weapons colliding, everyone looked at Yili and the leader of the Golden Sky Bull tribe. However, when he took a look, his soul almost left his body. What? The bone club in the Golden Sky Bull tribe leader's hand had already shattered into pieces and turned into dust. How is this possible? The leader of the Golden Sky Bull tribe was stunned. His pupils began to contract rapidly. He had never seen such a sharp weapon before. Demon King Yili, the sword in your hand. Before the leader of the Golden Sky Bull tribe could finish speaking, he was interrupted by Yili. This sword is called the Ancient Dragon Abyss Sword. It's also a sword that can kill you. Then, Yili kicked the leader of the Golden Sky Bull tribe heavily. The leader of the Golden Sky Bull tribe was unable to react in time and was instantly sent flying by Yili's kick. Boom! The leader of the Golden Sky Bull tribe landed heavily on the ground, creating a deep pit. The people from the Demon King Palace and the Golden Sky Bull tribe were all shocked to the extreme. They hurriedly looked at the deep pit. Splurt! The sound of blood spurting out entered everyone's ears. Then, the leader of the Golden Sky Bull tribe crawled out of the deep pit in an extremely sorry state. Yili looked at the leader of the Golden Sky Bull tribe indifferently and slowly said, "You were already dead, but one, Yili, didn't choose to kill you because I just said that one wanted you to see their corpses." As soon as he finished speaking, before the leader of the Golden Sky Bull tribe could react, Yili slashed out. Sky Sword Art. The divine skill, the heavenly sword technique, slashed out. Countless divine lights burst out from the ancient dragon abyss sword. Its speed was already like lightning, making it impossible for anyone to dodge. When the Golden Sky Bull tribe saw such an attack, their faces were filled with extreme shock. All! Instantly, screams shook the heavens and the earth. After the divine light disappeared, he looked at the location of the Golden Sky Bull tribe and found that there was only an indescribable slash. The ground was filled with the corpses of the Golden Sky Bull tribe. This, the leader of the Golden Sky Bull tribe was extremely shocked. He kept retreating. He saw a scene that would never happen in his dreams. Yili smiled faintly. There was no change in his handsome face at all. He looked at the Golden Ox tribe and slowly said, "I told you I would let you see their bodies. Do you believe me now?" Not only the leader of the Golden Sky Bull tribe, but even the people from the Demon King Palace were scared out of their wits when they saw this scene. When the leader of the Golden Sky Bull tribe heard Yili's words, he was even more terrified. Demon King Yili, you, how could the leader of the Golden Sky Bull tribe be able to speak a complete sentence at this moment? Yili smiled and said slowly, "Since you've already seen their corpses, it's your turn next." With that, Yili slashed out with the ancient dragon abyss sword. Chapter 777, You may have a good plan, but I have a way to deal with it. Ease reading on Novel Cool. Omicron M. Yili slashed out with the ancient dragon abyss sword in his hand. What kind of words could describe the supreme sword light of this sword? When the leader of the Golden Sky Bull tribe saw the supreme sword light coming towards him, he sucked in a breath of cold air in fear. He dodged left and right. After all, he was an 8th-tier Lord-level Dark Race member. In the end, he still managed to dodge Yili's sword. At the same time, the leader of the Golden Sky Bull tribe was extremely furious. "Demon King Yili, you're trying to kill us all. The Golden Sky Bull tribe leader's expression was extremely cold. It seemed like he was prepared to fight Yili to the death. Attack! Immediately, the leader of the Golden Sky Bull tribe roared angrily, and tens of thousands of zombies began to attack. Don't touch them, Yili said slowly to Ling Shui. Ling Shui was a little stunned. She didn't understand why Yili didn't let them attack. However, since it was Yili's order, she naturally wouldn't disobey it. Apocalypse Legion, attack! Yili said to the Apocalypse Legion. Roar! The 9 zombies of the Apocalypse Legion began to attack. The entire scene instantly became chaotic. Heaven and Earth Tao. With a loud shout from the leader of the Golden Sky Bull tribe, his golden body began to expand rapidly. In the end, it became dozens of feet long. It was really shocking. Demon King Yili, one want you dead. The leader of the Golden Sky Bull tribe said coldly. As soon as he finished speaking, the leader of the Golden Sky Bull tribe raised his fist and punched Yili fiercely. This punch swept over, as if it had pushed away space. It looked terrifying. Yili smiled coldly, thinking that you could have lived well, but you offended me, Demon King Yili. There's a path to heaven, but you don't take it, there is no gate to hell, but you force your way in. Swish! Yili slashed out with the ancient dragon abyss sword, and a supreme sword light flew towards the huge fist. Boom! In an instant, a thunderous voice entered everyone's ears, and the ground began to tremble. The Golden Sky Bull tribe leader's huge fist and the supreme sword light collided heavily. Alf! The leader of the Golden Sky Bull tribe suddenly let out a violent scream. The scream was really terrifying. Yili thought that if it was an ordinary weapon, he would not be able to do anything to the leader of the Golden Sky Bull tribe. Unfortunately, was the ancient dragon abyss sword an ordinary weapon? This was a supreme divine weapon that was fused together from the 10 great divine weapons of the primordial era. Even a god or a Buddha wouldn't be able to stop it. The Golden Sky Bull John's leader's huge fist was already gone. He looked simply miserable. Yili! The eyes of the leader of the Golden Sky Bull tribe were red, as if he wanted to eat Yili, dominating Heaven Bull Fist. After a loud shout, a huge fist condensed from evil light smashed towards Yili. Yili looked at such an attack and smiled to himself. He admitted that the leader of the Golden Sky Bull tribe had some strength, but it was still not enough in front of Yili. Even if you have a good plan, I don't have a way to deal with it. Sky-severing sword. The divine skill, the heaven-severing sword, was released. A divine sword condensed from various divine lights shot towards the huge fist that soared into the sky. The divine sword and the huge fist were about to collide. The originally bright sky became covered in dark clouds. Boom! A shocking explosion sounded. Everyone present stopped fighting and looked at the scene in the air. A corpse slowly fell from the sky. Chapter 778, Heavenly Fragrance in Ease reading on Novel Cool. Omicron M. Of course, this corpse was not Yili's corpse. The corpse of the Golden Sky Bull clan's leader fell heavily to the ground. It was a tragic sight. Yili's handsome face didn't change at all. It was as if nothing had happened. The people from the Demon King Palace could no longer describe the shock in their hearts with words. At this time, the Apocalypse Legion had also defeated countless zombies. Yili opened the synthesis grid in his mind and began to batch synthesis these zombies. Soon, tens of thousands of zombies were synthesized by Yili. Ding! Alda has been upgraded to a 5th-tier Lord-level zombie. Hongye has been upgraded to a 7th-tier Lord-level zombie. Ding! Congratulations, host, for obtaining a chance to draw a random prize. Hearing this, Yili couldn't help but show a playful smile. He thought that when luck came, it was like chewing gum and couldn't be stopped. Without thinking too much, Yili used this lottery chance. The virtual pointer began to spin on the roulette wheel. A few seconds later, the pointer stopped. Ding! Congratulations to the host for obtaining the opportunity to upgrade all zombie skills. Hearing the system's voice, Yili couldn't help but sigh. He knew he would always get what he needed. Then, Yili began to upgrade the skills of the 9 Lord-level zombies of the Apocalypse Legion. Currently, the skills of the Apocalypse Legion were all heaven-grade skills. Zombie skill upgrade begins, 10%. 30%. 60%. 100%. Zombie skill upgrade begins, when Yili checked the skills of the Apocalypse Legion. Divine Fire Fist Tyrant, Hongye, Heaven Breaking Ice, Bai Wawa, Fiery Tyrant Foot, Yutong, Moon Reflection Petrification, Bone Maiden, 7 Extreme Heaven Swallowing Technique, Chi, Life Reaping Lightning Sword, Long Yu, Absolute Heaven Spear, Mou, Dragon Elephant Fist, Yu Zhu, Heaven Shaking Palm. The skills of the Apocalypse Legion had all been upgraded to heaven-defying level. Yili looked very satisfied. He thought that Ada and Hongye were both 7th-tier Lord-level zombies now. Now, he had to let the Apocalypse Legion attract zombies. Yili gave an order to the Apocalypse Legion. As for the people from the Demon King Palace, they were completely dumbfounded as they looked at Yili in shock. Master, what divine skill did you use just now? Qing Ruo asked in astonishment. Qing Zhu and Qing Ruo came from the Eastern Land. The Eastern Land was countless times stronger than the Mystic Land. You just need to know that it's a strong skill, Yili said slowly. Qing Zhu and Qing Ruo were stunned. They looked at Yili in shock. They had never seen such a domineering person. They could not understand why there was such a domineering person in this world. There's nothing else. Let's go back, Yili said to the people from the Demon King Palace. News of this battle spread. The entire Mystic Land was in an uproar as they discussed this shocking battle. The Demon King, Yili, and the Apocalypse Legion were even more famous. From women and children to children, everyone knew about the Demon King, Yili, and the Apocalypse Legion. These few days, Yili had nothing to do, so he brought the girls to the most famous inn in the Mystic Land. This inn was in the center of the Mystic Land. It was called the Heavenly Fragrance Inn. Senior, this inn is very expensive, Ling Shui said to Yili. Yili smiled. He thought that Ling Shui was not bad and knew how to worry about money. However, was he someone who lacked money? Immediately, Yili, Ling Shui, Chen Tian, Xiao Yu, Qing Zhu, and Qing Ruo walked towards the Heavenly Fragrance Inn. The Heavenly Fragrance Inn was an 18-story building. Each floor was more expensive than the last. Those who could enter the inn were all high-ranking officials and nobles. Chapter 779, Get out of my way before I say it a third time. Ease reading on Novel Cool. Omicron. I heard that Wang Yun of the Wang family of the Mystic Land booked all the Heavenly Fragrance Inn. Huh? How much would that cost? Is that young Master Wang someone who lacks money? You have to know that his father is ranked 2nd on the Mystic Land's divine list. Outside Heavenly Fragrance Inn, all the high-ranking officials and nobles began to discuss. 2nd place on the divine list? Then who was number 1 on the divine list? It was none other than the peerless Demon King. Yili. Stop. You can't go in. The few people who were about to enter Heavenly Fragrance Inn were stopped. Why can't we go in? Qing Zhu looked coldly at the person blocking the way. The person blocking the way was a middle-aged man, and his strength was actually quite good. He was a Tier 1 Transcender. I'm sorry, this inn has already been booked today, the middle-aged man said coldly. The people outside Heavenly Fragrance Inn also sighed. They had come from afar to try the delicacies of Heavenly Fragrance Inn, but they did not expect it to be reserved by someone. What could they do? They were helpless. I heard that it's young Master Wang's birthday, so he booked the Sky Fragrance Inn. Yili looked at the middle-aged man in front of him indifferently and smiled. He thought that no one in the Mystic Land would dare to block his way. Get out of the way, Yili said to the middle-aged man. As soon as these words were spoken, not only the middle-aged man, but even the people from the Heavenly Fragrance Inn could not help but be stunned. They did not expect these people to be so powerful. One had to know that the Heaven Taste Inn had a background. It was owned by a powerhouse ranked third on the Mystic Land's divine list. Get out of your way. The middle-aged man sneered. He had been a guard at the inn for a few years, but he had never seen anyone who dared to cause trouble for the inn. Do you know what this place is? The middle-aged man looked at Yili and the others mockingly. Yili smiled faintly. There was no change in his handsome face at all. I'll say it again. Move aside. Don't make me say it a third time. Yili looked at the middle-aged man. The middle-aged man and everyone else were shocked. Who is this person? Could it be that he has a shocking background? Even if there is, could it be that his background is greater than the people behind Heavenly Fragrance Inn and the Wang family? I see this person surrounded by beautiful women. He's just a young master from a prominent family. How would he know anything about the ways of the world? Everyone outside the inn shook their heads and sighed because they knew that Yili would definitely end up in a terrible state. Brat, what can you do if I don't move aside? As a Tier 1 transcender, the middle-aged man had never seen such an arrogant person. Yili couldn't help but sigh. Why didn't this middle-aged man cherish the chance that he had given him? Ali. Suddenly, with a scream, a shocking bloody hole appeared on the middle-aged man's thigh. What? Everyone outside the Heavenly Fragrance Inn was stunned. They hurriedly rubbed their eyes, thinking that they had seen wrongly because they did not see how Yili attacked. For a moment, they all knew that not only were they wrong, but they were also wrong to the point of no return. Previously, they thought that Yili was a young master who did not know the immensity of heaven and earth, but now it seemed that he was clearly a super expert. You. The middle-aged man endured the pain and stared at Yili. Chapter 780, Outside the Heavenly Fragrance Inn. Ease reading on novel cool. Omicron M. Yili smiled faintly at the middle-aged man. I told you to move aside, but you didn't. You just had to make me do it. Don't you think you deserve it? When the middle-aged man heard this, he could not help but burn with anger. He shouted, Guards, someone is barging into Heavenly Fragrance Inn. Following the middle-aged man's shout, several more Tier 1 transcenders appeared in front of Yili. When the people outside the inn saw this scene, they could not help but widen their eyes and their faces were filled with joy. They thought that they would be able to watch a good show even if they didn't get to eat the delicacies at Heavenly Fragrance Inn. This was a good deal. Brat, do you know that this is the Heavenly Fragrance Inn? A transcender said coldly to Yili, Of course we do. With trash like you, you're no match for my master. Qing Zhu looked at the few Tier 1 transcenders in disdain. Yili smiled leisurely. She's right. The few of you are not enough. What did you say? These few Tier 1 transcenders were all furious to the extreme. They gritted their teeth and glared at Yili. Not enough? What if I join? Suddenly, a sharp voice entered everyone's ears. Everyone looked in the direction of the voice, and a middle-aged man walked over majestically. This middle-aged man looked to be in his 40s. He had a stalwart figure and a pale golden face. It's the Lin family. Someone else exclaimed. The Lin family? The third-ranked expert on the Mystic Land's divine list was the Lin family's master. The Heavenly Fragrance Inn was naturally owned by the Lin family. The middle-aged man's name was Lin Yang, a Tier 1 chosen one. Brother Lin. The Tier 1 transcenders hurriedly called out respectfully to Lin Yang. Lin Yang arrived in front of the Tier 1 transcenders and looked at Yili with disdain. You said they're not enough. What if I, Lin Yang, join? When the people outside the Heavenly Fragrance Inn heard the middle-aged man's name, they could not help but look shocked. Is Lin Yang the younger brother of the Lin family's head? That's right. I heard that he broke through to become a Tier 1 chosen one not long ago. What, a Tier 1 chosen one? Everyone looked at each other in dismay. Still not enough, Yili said slowly. What? Not only Lin Yang and the Tier 1 Transcenders, but everyone else was also dumbfounded. One had to know that Lin Yang was a Tier 1 chosen one. This person actually dared to say that it was still not enough. Leng Shui, Qin Tian, Xiao Yu, Qing Zhu, and Qing Ruo looked at Yili with admiration. Their hearts were beating wildly. Brat, do you know who I, Lin Yang, am? Lin Yang roared at Yili. Yili shook his head. I don't know who you are. One only know that you're not enough. Silence, a deadly silence. At this moment, time seemed to have stopped. No one dared to break the silence. What if him included? A relatively young voice entered everyone's ears. Everyone hurriedly looked in the direction of the voice and saw a very handsome youth walking over. It's young Master Wang. Someone exclaimed. Young Master Wang was Wang Yun, the young master of the Wang family in the Mystic Land. Yili looked at Wang Yun, who was walking over. This Wang Yun was about the same age as him and looked to be in his 20s. However, their strengths were worlds apart. He was just a 5th-tier transcender. Young Master Wang, you're here. Lin Yang called out to Wang Yun. Wang Yun nodded and looked at Yili indifferently. With me, is that enough? Yili smiled. He shook his head slowly again and said, it's still not enough. Hiss. Everyone outside the Heavenly Fragrance Inn was shocked and dumbfounded. Wang Yun and Lin Yang's families were the strongest families in the Mystic Land, and their family heads were 2nd and 3rd on the Mystic Land's divine list. This person actually said that it wasn't enough. Who was this Yili? You're tuning into the Blissful Bookshelf YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.